Hey my friend, Sean here from the beautiful Winelands of South Africa, and welcome to my channel. Now, how will you know whether this channel is for you? How will you know whether this guy, all the way down in the Winelands of South Africa, might be the person to speak into your life at such a time as this? I've always said, if you want to walk free, you've got to deal with all three. You probably are dealing with one, two, or maybe three of these areas in your life. My videos really do speak to these particular areas: your body, your mind, and your spirit. I have an interesting background. I almost like to use the word kaleidoscope, because every time you look into that kaleidoscope, as we did as kids, and you turn it, there are a whole different array of colors and things. And that's a little bit like my life. I started off as a pharmacist back in the late 80s. I spent many, many decades as a retail pharmacist, owning my own businesses. I still consult to the healthcare industry in the nutritional space. I've always had a very strong affinity for and desire to look after my own health and to help others look after their wellness. So maybe that's the area, maybe your body and your mind, you really want to address in terms of your wellness and your nutrition, your mindset, etc. I've also always had a love for personal growth and development. Read my first book in 1989. I remember reading this little green book, reading the first few pages, and quite honestly, it sounded like Russian. I didn't understand it at all. I'd never been taught this at school, and maybe you are in the same boat. You never were taught personal growth and development, self-help, how do you develop yourself, leadership, communication. I think these days they address it more, but certainly not back in the 70s and 80s when I was growing up. So I came to this juncture in my life back in the late 80s, and I qualified as a pharmacist, but I knew there was something more for me. Honestly, I closed that book at that point because I didn't understand it. And it was only a few years later, in the mid to late 90s, that I began to address personal growth and development again. And it was really in 2005 when I picked up a book that said, the most important 2 days in a person's life are the day they're born and the day they discovered why. Now, Yara was, I'd been in pharmacy for many years. I was in my own pharmacy. I owned my own pharmacy. But there was this gnawing sense of moreness inside of me. The sense not of having, but of being. Of being. My why. And it was elusive. I didn't know what it was. I knew the first day. I knew the first day I was born. But I didn't know that other day. Why was Sean born? Insert your name in there. Why were you born? What's your purpose? And that fits into the second category of that personal growth and development, the mindset. And then, of course, the spiritual. So the body, the mind, and the spirit. For me, that's very important as a person of faith. I call myself a grace guy. And the reason I do that is because there's so many connotations to religion, Christianity, faith around the world. And honestly, Jack wasn't made for a box, and nor was Sean. I hate being put into a box. So just walk with me, just talk with me, just follow me. And I think you'll feel my heart. You'll sense my spirit and where I'm coming from. I'm a grace guy, and that comes across very strongly in the videos that I do around my faith and around grace and around God. You'll see that coming through. Do I tick one of those boxes for you? Maybe two of those boxes? If I tick three of those boxes, do me a favor, subscribe to this channel, hit that little alert for me. It's all to do with algorithms, isn't it? But also it allows you to know when I drop a new video. And I'll be dropping more and more videos as we go forth in this next few weeks and seasons of my life. And I really hope and pray that you've come to this channel for such a time as this. I sense it in my heart that the right people will come across this channel and the right people will stay on this channel. Now, I've been very blessed. I've coached and trained with many people in my life over the last 20, 30, 40 years. I'm a certified John Maxwell speaker, coach, and trainer. I'm certified in DISC personality and behavioral consulting. So I talk a lot around communication, leadership, and personal growth. But today, I want to talk into your life. You came here for such a time as this. There's a reason you came onto this channel. You didn't come here by coincidence. One of my other mentors, B.Pharm, often says, coincidence is God's way of remaining anonymous. I love that, don't you? I love that. There's no such thing as just coincidence. You came across this channel and you're here for a reason. Thank you for being on this channel. Now head over to one of my videos, check it out, like, comment, and share, and give me your feedback. I appreciate you and look forward to journeying with you on your journey. If you want to walk free, you've got to deal with all three: your body, your mind, and your spirit. This has been Sean from the Beautiful Winelands. Until later, cheers.